Welcome to Shiko Hope TV. My name is Shiko Hope and here we say inawezekana. Welcome back to this channel, and if you are new here, welcome and feel at home. Here we say inawezekana and we give hope to those people who are hopeless or those who have lost hope. And here we do green card matters and the journey to the United States of America. We work together step by step from green card application. We work together through all the process until you reach here. And as you can see from the title, today we are looking at culture shock in the United States of America. These are things that you see they are different from what you normally know, or the values that you normally know or use back home. And before we continue, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to this channel and sit down, relax, and watch this video to the end, because some of these things you are going to encounter them once you go to the United States of America. Let's look at these culture shocks. Actually, the culture shock starts immediately you enter in that plane. Yeah. Those flight attendants, when they come with their food and everything and drinks, they ask you, are you going to take? Now they give you some names and you don't know anything. You are used to your ugali, githeri, mokimo, kienyeji, chapo, but they don't give that. If you're not flying with KQ, you're flying with another airline, my dear, you don't know those kind of food. They ask you something. Are you going to eat something? And a type of food with a funny name, but you just say, okay, yes, but you don't know what it is. And once you taste that food, you are like, really? If you're not using KQ, Kenya Airways, you are going to face challenges in ordering food. So that is one. That is one culture shock. Now you are on the plane. You have not yet arrived. So you can imagine. Another thing is those washrooms on the plane. Those toilets. You fear. I remember when I first used that those washrooms, you are done with your business and then you are like, whah! It was like something has flashed, something like has grabbed an abnormal air pressure that and you are going and you are like, oh my goodness, did I mess? Are we going to fall? Did I mess with this thing? Are we? Now you are shocked, you see, and now you are like, I will never use that washroom again until I reach wherever I'm going. Yeah, you become scared and you are like, gosh, did I touch anywhere that now the air is coming and now the plane is going to fall or what? But that is a culture shock. Now, another thing, when now you have left your country and you have arrived, like us, we came with British Airways. So when we arrived at Heathrow Airport, I don't know if it is in London or Britain, I don't know, you have to keep reading those signs on where to go. You can't ask anybody. Nobody is going to tell you. Everybody is a stranger. Everybody is just like you. So you're not asking anybody. It's not like in Kenya where you get lost and you're like, hey, where is this particular place? So here you can't ask, but the directions are very well shown how to go. If you are going to this terminal, if you are going to this terminal, you just follow those arrows. Just follow those arrows. It is not like you can ask anybody, where is terminal A, where is terminal B? No, you just follow those arrows and it will show you. Or maybe you can ask a soldier somewhere, soldier, watchman. That's how we used to call them back home. So that is another thing. Now that is in the airport. That is in the airport. And then the weather. The weather. Once you arrive to the United States of America, the weather here is very different from what you are used back home. Back home, we are like, oh, we are in June, July, August, the month of cold. We are used to that particular cold. But when you come here during winter, my dear, it is extreme cold. Not what you are used to back home. Now this is to the extreme. This is to the extreme. The same thing with summers. Back home, when it is on January, December, January, February, it is very hot. It is very hot back home. But when you come here during summer, that is May, June, July, August, hey, now it is extreme of what you are used to back home. Very, very hot. Very, very hot. You get outside and you are the air that is beating you is very dry, very hot, and you're not used to that. Some people become allergic. Maybe some start peeling. The skin of the body start coming out. Is it coming out or coming off? Yeah, it is extreme. Another thing is how we are used to cross the road back home in Kenya. How you are used to cross the road. In town, you are crossing and the cars are moving and you are just there in the middle of the cars and you are just crossing the road and you are good and you are safe and you can do it. But here you can't do that. Here you can't just cross the road like that and the cars are moving. No. If you're crossing the road on an intersection, you have to stop and wait for your turn to cross. You can't just keep on crossing, or you look right, look left, and then you run across the road. No, you don't do that. But guys, I did that. My first day, I used to walk when I was going to work, and I used to cross roads. So before I knew, I used to look right, look left, and I run across the road. But I just came to learn that I'm not supposed to do that. I am supposed to press somewhere and wait for my turn, and the sign will appear so I can cross the road. But I just did that. I just crossed the Kenyan way like a whole week. I know those drivers were like, what's wrong with this? But I used to do that. But here, it's not like that. It's not like that. You wait, you press somewhere, and then you wait for your turn, and the cars will give you way, and you cross very safely and professionally. Did I say professionally? Yes. Tuache ushamba. Huo ni ushamba. I was just mshamba, but now I'm not. Okay. Now, when you go to do your shopping, and maybe you are looking for a particular thing, but it has a different name. And then when you are still doing your shopping and you start converting, maybe you see you want to buy an avocado, and then you see it is like $3. Then you start converting. $3 is 300 Kenyan shillings. Oh wait, it's so expensive. We used to convert and we are like, oh my goodness, things are so expensive. Are we going to buy this really? But conversion, it's normal. You just convert and then you see, oh, I'm not buying in Kenya shillings, I'm buying in dollars. So it's okay, let me buy. When you convert, you see like, hey, it's too much. But when you're using dollars, not converting, it's okay. But converting is normal. As a newcomer, you have to convert. You're used to Kenyan shillings. But when you come here, now it is another currency. That is another shock. You see, like, things are very expensive, extremely expensive, but they are not. They are not. Now, when you are leasing an apartment, it's not like in Kenya. Like, let's say you moved to a particular place and you don't feel good, you don't like that house. Now you just start looking for another house to move on the next month or in 2 months time. No, here it is not like that. When you are leasing an apartment, you have to, when you're leasing an apartment, you sign there that I'm taking this apartment. I am going to live here for like 12 months, 13 months. You sign there, okay? You can't break that contract. You can't move before that period, before you finish your period. Am I clear? That is, you can't break your lease. If you signed you are going to live there for 13 months, you will live there for 13 months. If you dare move out, there is a penalty. You have to pay some money. You have to pay some money. Have to pay some money. And then, when you are getting an apartment, when you are renting an apartment, when you are leasing an apartment, renting and leasing is the same. When you are leasing or renting an apartment, it is not like in Kenya. In Kenya, you come and get an empty house, right? You go to an empty house and you bring all your stuff. But here, it is different. And it is very good. Here you get microwave working. Here you get stove. Stove is the cooker. We call it stove here. You see? Those are culture shock. Okay, you get a microwave, you get a fridge, you get a stove, and in some other apartments, you can get a washer and a dryer. And then dishwasher. That is obvious. So you see, it is good. It is not bad like back in Kenya. You come with your jiko, you come with your gas cooker, you come with your fridge. If you don't have, you stay without. But here you have to get those in the apartment. That one is free. You find it there, and when you're moving, you leave them there. That's a good one. Okay. Now, getting a car. Cars here are necessity. A car is a necessity here. When you walk out of your apartment or your house and you look on the road, maybe you will find nobody walking. Everybody, what you see are many cars passing. And no, you can't get like people walking, mostly on the main road. Maybe here on the interiors, you can see people walking, taking walks, But on the main road, no, no. A car is a necessity here. The first thing you buy, some people buy cars even before they rent apartments. You buy a car even before you leave your host's place, because a car is a necessity. A car is a necessity. So another culture shock is food. Food. And by food, I mean back home or in Kenya. I normally say in Kenya because that's where I come from. We know that pizza, chicken, soda are for the rich, right? Like myself, I have never tasted pizza when I was back in Kenya. I could not afford. Seriously, I could not afford pizza. I was like, oh, the small one is 750. What? With 750, I have like how many unga ya chapo, nyama, and I make very good stew? No, there is no way I'm going to get a pizza. So, because I could not afford, pizza is for the rich, or those people who are well up. Now, and chicken, you see? Now, when you come here, it is the opposite. It is the opposite. Like pizza, I think it is $60. You have a big large one. Chicken, $5. A whole chicken. A whole chicken. So now here it is the other way around. The other way around. Those are the food for the, let me not call them poor, but for the low class people. Pizza, chicken, those junk food that we normally crave for when we are back in Kenya. But when you come here, that's nothing. That's nothing. Right? Yeah. Here, what is expensive is like sweet potatoes, domas, those things that we normally get them cheap in Kenya. Now here they are the expensive, they are the costly ones, right? Okay, guys. Now that's culture shock. That is culture shock. When you come here and you have kids, they are like, hey, mom, can you get us chicken? And you go there and with $5, a whole chicken, a big one, $5. The other way around. What you value there, and you see like it is for the rich when you come here. Another thing. In everything that you do here, like getting a car, renting an apartment, enrolling in school, your children enrolling in school, you have to have references in everything that you do. A reference is a person who can be contacted on your behalf. Maybe they try to call you and you are not reachable. Who is the other person who can be called? And it is not one person, not two persons, or it is 3, 4, or 5 people. References from different addresses. When you're buying a car, you have to know people, like 5 people, to be your references. Even getting to school, enrolling, you have to give 5 names. Those people, they will be contacted on your behalf. When you are not reachable, they will be asked, do you know this and this person? Can you pass this message or let him know that you are looking for him? References is a must. So imagine now you have come. The only person you know is your host. And you want to buy a car. And you are asked like 3 more people. What are you going to write? Now your host will look for your references, for people to write there, because you must write people there. references. We normally write references on CV back home when we are writing CVs when to apply for jobs and everything. But here, in everything, even in school, like now my kids are in school, I have given like 3 more names. My name and the dad's name, and now 3 other names to be contacted in case. Like there is a time last year, not last year, 2019, yeah, 2019, my son was sick. He just joined preschool and he was sick. Now I was at work and the dad was at work too. And when you are at work, no phones. So my son got sick and the nurse was looking for me. They start with the mom. The nurse looked for me, tried to call me. I could not pick the phone. The phone was far from me. The nurse called the dad. He's at work. No phone. Now, they went to the records. Who is the other people to call? They tried. Now the first one, he didn't pick the phone. Try the second one. Now, by the time they were trying the third one, I went for my break and I looked and I got to my phone and I was like, oh, I have a missed call. Let me call back. And when I called, they were like, oh, is this so and so? Oh, I just called you. Your husband. I called so and so and so and so. Now I was calling the last person. So I was right on time. The nurse told me, your son is sick. Come get him. So what could you do? Go to the manager and tell him, I received an emergency call. My son is sick. I have to go get him. You see? So that's how it is. You have to have like 3 more people on as your references to be contacted in case of emergency or in case of anything. And another thing, here, no social life. You heard me right. No social life in America. It is not like, today's Friday, let's go Mogithi, let's go Kesha, let's go. No social life here. Here you can get lonely. Loneliness can kill you here. Truth be told, no social life in America. Yes. But back home, Mogithi on Fridays, or Kesha, church. After church, you go crusade. You see? But here, nothing like that. And even when you want to go to visit your friend, or you have to call before and you are like, oh, I will come on Sunday. Are you there on Sunday? Can I come visit? You can't just come and people hear you knocking on the door and you are like, wow, you came to visit. No, it's not like that. You have to say, I will come tomorrow, or I tell you, can you come visit us on this particular day? You have to it is like getting an appointment. You can't just go to your friend's house and you surprise them. No. They have to know that this particular person will come to visit on this particular day, and at this particular time. You have to say, I am going to come on Sunday at 2 p.m. So now I can say, oh, you are going to come at 2. Yeah, I'm at home. You just come. You can't just decide, oh, let me go surprise. You will surprise yourself. You will find yourself there. Nobody. The ones that you went to visit, they are not there. So it is not like back home that you just, oh, I have decided to come and say hi. It is not like that. It is so different. So different. Another thing, when we are in college, back home or in university, you call your professors. There is that respect. There is that respect that you give them. You don't just call them John. I didn't understand that point. No. you don't say that. There is that respect of an elder person or someone who is. But here, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Even your managers at work, you just call them by their name and they are okay with that. They are okay with that. Maybe your manager is called Martin or Mary. And then you are like, or you are a professor in college and you have a question. You just raise your hand and you are like, okay, Mary, can you repeat that again? I didn't understand. It's like your age mate, you know? It's like your friend or you are kawaida person. But back in Kenya, there is that respect. There is that respect. You can't just address someone by his name. You get me? But here, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. You just call them like, Mary, how are you? And they are okay with that. They are okay. Even as they introduce themselves, they are like, oh, I am Marianne. I will be taking you through psychology. You just call me Mary. And they are okay with that. So even as you interact in the classroom, you just interact like Mary, Shiko, but they don't call me Shiko. They can't they can't pronounce that name. So you see now the difference. But in primary school, elementary, I hear my kids say Miss so and so, Miss so and so. But when you grow to high school, I think from high school or college, that is not those Mrs. or Mr. so and so. There is nothing like that. Okay. In the hospital, when you are a patient, back home in Kenya, when you are a patient, maybe there are students who are in that hospital doing their internship and whatever. They will come, and if you are getting a CS or a surgery or any procedure, they will come and surround you and the procedure will be taken. When they are there without your consent, you can't say no or yes. Right? The doctor can't ask you. You just see students coming and you are there and they learn. But here, we also have students here in the hospital, but when you are being admitted, the nurse or whoever is admitting you will ask you, are you going to agree, or is it okay if we bring students to watch you or to learn with you? Or you can say yes or no. You can agree they come, or you can say no, I don't want students. The nurse or whoever is admitting you will ask you, can we bring students? Do you agree that before they bring them there, you have to be asked? So you can agree or say no. It's up to you. It's your right. It is your right to say yes or no. Or no. And here patients are treated with respect. They do what you want. If you refuse to take medicine, that is your right to refuse. To say, no, I don't want to take this medicine. They can't give you by force. And you have to ask questions and they have to answer you. So that is another shock. You feel like a boss. You are the patient, but you feel like a boss. Another thing, still in the hospital, when you, let me give an example. When you have gone to the hospital to get to deliver a baby, immediately you are given your baby and the nurse leave you to sleep or bond with your baby, right? Now, if the baby is crying, it's up to you. Breastfeed the baby, do whatever you are doing. Just make sure your baby is okay. But here, the nurse is coming every 2 hours to check on you. And then the nurse can ask you, can I take the baby so that you can get enough time to sleep? Ooh. You can say, oh yes, can you take her away and let me catch some sleep? Or you can say, it's okay, let her. Or let the baby remain here, I'm okay. The nurse is caring about your rest. The nurse wants you to get enough rest as they look after your baby in the nursery. But in Kenya, you are like, hey, who is that crying? Yeah, mama nyanyosha mtoto. That's how it is. But here, different. You feel like a boss. You feel like, oh, I don't want to go home. I want to stay here for another day or 2 more days, because you are being cared for. You are being cared for. You and the baby, of course. But in Kenya, things are different. Another thing, now that is on the positive side, right? That is on the positive side. Okay, another thing is this is a place of do it yourself. Do it yourself. There is no spoon feeding. If you go to if you're looking for a job, you go to that, maybe you are looking for a job in a mall or a store. You go there and you are like, I can see that you guys are hiring. I need that job. They will tell you, yeah, we are hiring. You just do this. Go online. Do the application online. If there is an assessment, you do it online. And then when you are done, they will see you and they will call you. Hey, is this so and so? Can you come for the interview on this particular day? You see, you applied online. You did the assessment online yourself. There is no calling. What am I doing? Where am I applying? No, you do it yourself. And when you go to that interview, they will ask you some questions. And now the training, it is just you do it yourself. You just sit there on a computer and they will the training is on the computer, is online too. It's still online. You just sit on that computer and you get trained online. And after that, now they are like, oh, now you know how it is done. Go chapakazi, you are trained. So it's now you start the work. Maybe they will give you somebody to teach you 1 or 2 days, and that's all. Once that person shows you this, and it is quick, he understands that now you know. He shows you another thing. Here it is a place of do it yourself. You have to think out of the box. It is not like in Kenya that you are being spoon-fed. This is how we do it. Can you try? No, it is not like that. It is like this. No. Here, you do it yourself. You learn the hard way. You have to do it. The last thing, there are so many culture shocks, but I just highlighted some, and this is the most crucial one. about kids. This is the most crucial one about kids. You are not leaving kids by themselves. No leaving kids unattended. Any child below the age of 12, that is a kid, that is a child. You can't leave him or her unattended. Unattended. You have to make sure there is an adult in that house to look after those kids. It is not like home where like you can leave your maybe your child is 8 years. You just leave him, you just make sure there is food and you go to work or do something. But here, no, you have to make sure that child is attended. Maybe you work days, the kid goes to school, but you make sure you take the kid to school, and when he comes back, there is someone in the house. So here it is not like in Kenya. You have to make sure that any child who is under the age of 12 is attended. You can't leave them in the house. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to take care of your kids. Make sure there is an adult in the house, so long as those children are below 12 years. If you have a child who is 15 years, you are good to go. He can babysit the others. But anybody below 12 years, that is a child, you can't leave him unattended. It is not like in Kenya that you feel like, now you have closed school, I have to do what I usually do. You just stay here, wash the utensils, clean the house, and eat and play. No. Here you can be prosecuted for that. Okay guys, those are some of the culture shocks that we encounter when we are here, and many more, plus language barriers. That one I didn't say. Language barriers, that one I mentioned in a video last year, and it is not easy. So those are some of the culture shocks. And before I forget about the car thing, driving and whatever, if you used to drive in Kenya, you know, we drive on the driver side is right side, but when you come here, the driver side is the left side. So that is another difference, and you are like, oh, here you. But if you are fresher like myself, there is no difference, because I didn't know how to drive back in Kenya, so I learned how to drive here, so I'm good. Maybe when I go back to Kenya for a vacation, of course, I drive and I will like, oh, this is different. Okay guys, those are some of the culture shocks. There are many, but those are some of them. And we learn and we adapt. And we adjust. And here we are. But we have to, they say that when you go to Rome, do as the Romans do. When I come back to Kenya, I'll not call my teacher Michael. I'll call him Mr. Kamau, Mr. Dongo, Mrs. Mwangi. But when I come here, I call them Martin, John. Yeah, because that is how it is. That is how it is. So guys, as you prepare to come here, prepare to get those culture shocks and many more, and you will overcome and you will adjust as we did, or as we are doing. We are still adjusting, because some, they just keep on coming, but we are just here. Okay guys, if you have not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, give it Give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, share with your family, comment below, let me know that you are here, and let me know if you want me to cover any topic. Just comment below and let me know. My name is Shiko Hope, and until next time, bye bye.